Hello everyone, welcome back to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to understand how to add OptinMonster lead in Microsoft Excel. So are you also using OptinMonster for your business? Then this video is definitely for you. So over here I am doing the same, and I wish that as soon as a new lead is received in my OptinMonster account, automatically the details of that lead should be added in my Microsoft Excel too. For this, we are going to create a connection between OptinMonster and Microsoft Excel. To create this connection without knowing any programming or coding language, we are going to use Pabbly Connect. It is an amazing automation software. So in Pabbly, we have the concept of trigger and action. For trigger, we are going to use OptinMonster, and for action, we are using Microsoft Excel. So if you also wish to learn this process step by step, follow me through the screen. Welcome to my screen. So as you know, in this video, we are going to learn how to add new OptinMonster lead details in our Microsoft Excel. So to do this, I've already opened the landing page of Pabbly simply by searching pabbly.com/connect in my browser. It is very easy. So as soon as we'll open the landing page of Pabbly, we are going to get two options. One is sign in and the another one is sign up for free. So if you are a new user, you can click on sign up for free and you are going to get 100 of tasks free every month. But I am an existing user, so I'm going to click on sign in. And now it is opening all Pabbly apps. Over here you can see all the tools and applications offered by Pabbly. But in today's video we are going to use Pabbly Connect because we are connecting different applications. So I'm going to click on access now right over here. And now it is opening my dashboard, and to start with the automation, I'm going to click on this button which says create workflow. And now it is asking me the workflow name and the folder I want to save the workflow in. So I want to save the workflow in this folder which says automations, and I want to name my workflow as how to add OptinMonster lead in Microsoft Excel sheets. And then we are going to click on create. And now it is opening the most important window of our automation, that is our workflow window. This is the most important window because we have trigger and action in this. Trigger means when this happens and action means do this. By this you can understand that the trigger is the commander for the workflow and actions follow the commands. And as you know that we can have only a single commander but multiple followers. So over here we can have only a single trigger but multiple actions following the commands of our trigger. So now I'm going to select my trigger application which is OptinMonster because I want that as soon as a new lead is received in my OptinMonster account, automatically my workflow should be triggered. So I'm going to search for it and then we are going to select it. And now for the trigger event, we are going to select it as new lead. And now it is giving me a webhook URL. So we are going to use this URL in order to create a connection between our OptinMonster account and our Pabbly's workflow. So first I'm going to copy this URL and then I'm going to open my OptinMonster account. So as you can see that this is my dashboard and over here is the form that I have created. So I'm going to open this form because I want to create this automation only for this form. And over here you can see integration. So we are going to go on this and then we are going to click on add new integration. And from here we are going to scroll and select webhooks. And then as you can see over here webhook, so we are going to select add new webhook and then it is asking me the webhook name and the webhook URL. So I'm going to name my webhook as new lead, and for the webhook URL we are going to paste the URL we copied from our workflow and then we are going to click on connect to webhook. And yes, you can see that we have successfully added a new webhook right over here which is new lead. So now I'm going to open my workflow and over here we are going to check that we have received a response which is webhook test. So this is the proof that we have successfully connected our OptinMonster account with our Pabbly's workflow. So now I'm going to click on recapture webhook response because I want to get the response of the form submission. So that's why I did recapture the webhook response, and now we are going to submit a form and do a test submission. So for this I'm going to open my form and then we are going to click on yes, sign me up, and then I'm going to fill in the details. So I entered the name as demo user, email as demo@pabblytudes.com, and this is the phone number. And now after entering all of this, I'm going to click on subscribe. And yes, you can see that it is saying you are all signed up. So this means that OptinMonster sent the details of our lead to our workflow. So I'm going to open my workflow and then we are going to check that if Pabbly has captured the details or not. And yes, you can see that Pabbly has captured the details over here. Over here, I'm going to show you the details. As you can see, the phone number that we entered, the last name, the first name that we entered, and the email. So with this, our trigger step is successful, and now we are moving on to our action step. For our action application, we are going to select it as Microsoft Excel because I want that as soon as a new OptinMonster lead is received, automatically the details of that lead should be added in my Microsoft Excel account. So I'm going to search for Microsoft Excel and then we are going to select it. And now for the action event, we are going to select it as add row to worksheet. and then we are going to click on connect. And as you can see that it is asking me to add a new connection or select the existing connection. So if you have already connected your Microsoft Excel account with your Pabbly's workflow, you can click on select existing connection and then save. But if you haven't, you have to follow me, click on add a new connection and then connect with Microsoft Excel. And now it is asking me for some permissions. So I'm going to scroll and click on accept and give Pabbly all the permissions it is asking for, because my data is secure with Pabbly. You can also click on accept because Pabbly is safe. And as soon as you are going to click on accept, you can see that you have successfully connected your Microsoft Excel account with your Pabbly's workflow. And over here you can see connected. So now it is asking me the workbook name. So the name of my workbook is OptinMonster Leads and the name of my sheet is Sheet 1. So I'm going to select the same workbook right over here, which is OptinMonster Leads. So I'm going to search for OptinMonster Leads right over here, and as you can see the same, so I'm going to select it. And now you can see that as soon as I change the workbook name, Pabbly automatically detected the drive ID. So we don't have to change this. We are going to move on forward. It is asking me for the worksheet. So as you know that I have only a single sheet in my workbook, so I'm going to select the same. And now it is asking me for the full name, email and phone number. So over here you can see that these are the same details I have entered in my Microsoft Excel. So that's why it is asking me for same. So I'm going to map it. Mapping is a method by Pabbly which means inserting the data from the previous step. And as you know, our previous step was the trigger step where we selected OptinMonster as a trigger application. So we are going to map the details from the response of our trigger application only. And as soon as we are going to map these details, automatically my details will turn dynamic and change with every new lead received. So I'm going to give you an example that if for the name I'm going to enter it as demo right over here manually, it will not change with every new lead received because this is a static information and I have entered it manually. But if I'm going to map it from the previous response, it will definitely change because my previous response will also change. So that's why we do mapping. So now I'm going to search for name, and as you can see, first name, last name. So I'm going to map the first name, put a space, and then we are going to map the last name. We are going to do same for the email also. So I'm going to search for email right over here, and as you can see, demo@pabblytunes.com. So we are going to map it. Now we are going to do same for the phone number. I'm going to search for phone, and as you can see, the phone number that we entered, so we are going to map it. And now after entering all the details and mapping the rest of the details, I'm going to click on save and send test request. And yes, you can see that we have received the positive response that our details have been added to our Microsoft Excel. So I'm going to open my Microsoft Excel and then we are going to check that if the details have been added or not. And yes, you can see the details have been added. Full name demo user, email demo@pabblytunes.com, the phone number as this which we entered. So with this our workflow is successful, but I'll just test the workflow once and this time I'm going to give you a real-time example. So to do this, I'm going to open my form right over here and then we are going to refresh this page because we are going to do another test submission. So I'm going to click on yes, sign me up, and this time I'm going to keep the details as this: name test user, email test user@pabblytunes.com, and the phone number as this. And now after entering all the details, I'm going to click on subscribe. And yes, you can see you are all signed up. So this means that OptinMonster has sent the details of our submission to our workflow. Pabbly captured the response, triggered the workflow, and further added the details in our Microsoft Excel too. So I'm directly going to open my Microsoft Excel and then we are going to check that if the details have been added or not. So this time we are not going back to our workflow and clicking on save and send test request. I'll directly open my Microsoft Excel and we are going to refresh this page. And yes, you can see full name test user, email test user@pabblytunes.com, and over here is the phone number that we entered. So with this, our workflow is successful, and I'll just summarize the workflow for you once. For the trigger application, I selected OptinMonster. For the trigger event, I selected new lead. For the action application, I selected Microsoft Excel, and then for the action event, I selected add row to worksheet because I wanted that as soon as a new OptinMonster lead is received, automatically the details of that lead should be added in my Microsoft Excel too. And yes, we were successful with our workflow. Over here you can see the two details I added during this video with the help of my workflow. So if you have any questions related to the video or the workflow, you can directly comment on this video. And for your reference, I'll just clone the workflow and share the workflow link in the description box so that you can access my workflow. Thank you for watching. Not only these applications, but with the help of Pabbly, you can integrate many more applications. So now, if you have any doubts, you can reach us at support@pabbly.com. If you have any queries, you can reach us at forum.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issues, you can follow this website. And if you find our videos helpful, do like and subscribe our channel. Thank you for watching.